I've got the weirdest and wonderful cars.
Total value.
7 million.
What's the biggest scam you've ever seen in the supercar market?
Bit of inside knowledge is literally untraceable. That's got to be illegal. Lamborghini. They just changed.
And what car lost you the most money?
Got stolen.
Really?
He's reversed off the drive and going down the A38, a big pursuit. I've gone straight up the curb to try and run him over, threatened to kill me and my family.
Regrets?
Never again. It was the car which was bought from Harrods. You know, it's all over the internet.
Wow.
I bought this Fiesta off M Block. Absolute legend. I could sell it in a text message now for 3 million.
What would you say is the most underrated supercar?
I don't want to say it, but I have to say it. Ooh.
What's the biggest scam you've ever seen in the supercar market?
We took a guy down and he wasn't very happy about it. So he had a full-on working website. And I mean, it looked like a proper car dealership. It had Bugatti Chirons, Lamborghinis, Porsches, all sort of stuff. And we tried to buy a Porsche GT3 RS off the guy. I thought it was totally legit. He had me. Then we had a few alarm bells. So sort of did a few tests and thought, yeah, this guy's scamming.
And what were the alarm bells? How did you spot them?
The massive one was he wouldn't go on camera. So he was allegedly in America. So I said, do a walk around video. And he said he couldn't because he'd had an operation or something like that. Then he did a walk around video afterwards, but not showing his face. It was him talking, the same guy I spoke to on the phone. So, you know, at this stage, I know it's a scam, but I'm thinking, is it a scam? He was that good. Even when I knew it was a scam, I still questioned whether it was a scam. He was amazing. He was so clever at what he was doing. And then I found the walk around video he'd sent me on somebody else's website.
Wow. And how close were you to buying that Porsche?
Look, £25,000 worth of deposit. If we hadn't noticed, it would have been gone.
And how much was the Porsche?
$250,000.
And that would have just been gone?
Gone forever. And I know for definite there's other people been ripped off by this guy. 100%. We've had contact with those people when we sort of it. And then we found we were going to fly to the actual location where he was. And we contacted the guy he was impersonating. He was impersonated a dealership which actually existed.
Oh, wow.
Well, used to exist. Like his backstory was amazing. And we shut him down and he wasn't happy because I really think...
He's a scammer. So does it matter if he's happy?
But honestly, I think he believes that he was a real car dealer. Like he was so into his lie, I think he thought that we'd done bad to him taking it down.
But isn't it easier just to make money legitimately? Just sell a normal car?
Yeah, but I think obviously he didn't have that opportunity because he was a scammer who was in a bedroom. He wasn't, he didn't have a dealership and he didn't have millions of pounds worth of cars. But
he could have started a YouTube channel like you.
Yeah. But he definitely had a network of clients, which obviously I think he had past scams, but I'd imagine there was a lot of scams he was 50% through or 25% through. So this money was going to come his way. And we cut the bloodline, which didn't impress him.
So how did you shut him down? What did you do?
Just basically came after him and told him, we knew who he was, and then put it on our YouTube channel. And then every man and his dog kindly, sort of gave him the bad reviews, annihilated his phone, and in the end, he just had no choice but to shut down. So obviously his phone number was the contact which all these other scams were going on, and obviously, we shut everything down. And
did you get any backlash from him?
Yeah. He threatened to kill me and my family. Yeah.
Threatened to kill your family?
Yeah. It was quite, at the time, you imagine when you get this, I got this message which had photos of me, my wife, my daughter on holiday. He'd sort of like gone into various Instagram accounts of my family and sort of sent me these pictures telling me what he was going to do to me. And at the time,
what did he say he was going to do?
That he was going to, come kill us. Yeah, come and kill us. And he said, like, it's not going to be today. It's not going to be tomorrow. His name was Ken. So we had these T-shirts made, fake Ken. And so
were these death threats not a warning for you to just like chill?
I looked at my phone. I'm not very good at sleeping. It was about, I go through stages. It was about 3:00 in the morning. I looked at the phone call, the message, and thought, oh God, I've got to tell my wife in the morning. This is not good. That was probably the scariest bit.
Yeah. Telling your wife?
Yeah. But he was a scammer. He was, I'm not Robin Hood, but, it was him who was in the wrong. And I don't know. He said he was going to do this and do that, but, is the person who's got a website selling cars some sort of axe wielding murderer who's likely to step up on my door? No, he's not. How many people in the world are that axe murderer? Not many. And he's definitely not a guy who's got a website trying to scam people out of cars. So, will I ever hear from him? I don't know. He knows where I am. He knows places I'm going to go. That's what we do. We do social media, so it's not hard to find me.
And that doesn't worry you?
No, at the time, I remember a couple of days after we put the video out, we were sat on the stage at a car show, and somebody was asking me all about it. And I said, like, unless a red dot comes on me now, but if it comes on you, then I suppose to a certain extent I was a dangerous target at the time. But no, I don't. No, it doesn't worry me. No.
And what about the biggest scam in the car brands market?
We have various dealerships which we get told about all the time, sort of selling clone cars and stuff like that. But, the brands...
By clone, do you mean a fake car?
A fake car. So basically a car which... The common one right now is you buy an idea of a car. So a car which has been in a scrapyard, or it's been, especially these days, there's a lot of cars which get broken for parts because the driver can't afford to claim on his insurance. So a lot of car insurance companies now are not getting claims when people crash because people can't risk not getting insured next year. So a lot of cars come that. Also exports, cars go out the country, and that V5 now no longer has a car part of it. It's just a piece of paper. That gets sold into the criminal world. It's called an ID. And that's a vehicle now which you've just got to steal a car of equivalent colour, model, type, and all you've got to do is change over your VIN numbers and ECUs and stuff like that, which is very easy to do. And then but the difference is then you're not selling a stolen car. You're selling a legitimate real car.
Oh, wow. Which is like changing the identity of the car.
Changing the identity. So that car you've now stolen is not a stolen car. It's a real car which is worth full money, which you could part exchange. You could sell on Auto Trader. You can sell on Facebook Marketplace. You can do a private deal. Like, that all of a sudden is a car. That's why it's so, this is why people are doing it, because the profit margins, before you'd sell a car, you'd sell it to the underground world for $5,000 when it's a $50,000 car. Well, now you're doing this and getting full retail money. But this car is then swapping hands and to the next person, and nobody has any clue. It is literally untraceable.
Wow. And so are more and more cars getting nicked now because of this?
Yeah, the sort of like the ID cloning car thing. It used to be called ringing, but now, we have all sorts of systems. Like when you're stealing the car, if you imagine when you lose your keys on your car or you have a problem with your car, it's not scrap. You go to a dealership, they plug into your car, they make you a new key, they change your ECU, they change your speedo, whatever breaks, it's all electronics. Well, the thieves are one step ahead of that. So, whatever they do, they plug into your OBD port and they can nick millions of pounds worth of cars. We went into a supermarket car park with a car thief who showed us all the equipment he'd got. And I said to him, what car can you have? And he literally said he could have any single car in that car park he could steal.
Wow.
And it's horrible to bring that news. And, I don't want to scare people, but, the electronics on our car, that OBD port is just...
So even if you've got the key and you haven't lost the key, they can literally just come and take the thing.
Yeah.
So how do you stop your car getting nicked like that?
You make visual deterrents. So you can have a wheel clamp, a steering clamp, park it somewhere which it's harder to get hold of, and hope realistically that they steal somebody else's. Wow. That bad. You've got to try and divert that to somebody else. But, we've done, even insurance, we've done videos on insurance, and sometimes it's cheaper now to insure your car on the road than it is on your drive. So, you again, the payoff is your car's safer, less likely to be stolen on the side of a road now than keyless entry theft outside your front window.
So what's the easiest car to nick? What one would, is it just like child's play for him?
Some of the brands, obviously, which are in the news were easier to steal, but, they've done certain things to sort of make that a little bit safer. But yeah, I'd say, obviously, Tesla's a little bit more difficult. You don't very rarely hear of a Tesla being stolen because it's, extremely electric. There's, all sorts of, it's talking to everybody, to the owner and everything. Right. But as a rule, if I lost the keys to any of these cars, I can get Dips round here and he could get it going and get me a spare key within 12 minutes.
Right.
Any of these.
So these are all easy to nick?
Yeah. So's your car. So's most cars.
I interviewed Tom Hartley a while back, and this short we did went viral, tens of millions of views, because we were talking about just how many Range Rovers were getting nicked, and you can't even insure them in London because they're all just getting nicked. Have they sorted it out, or is Range Rover still eeasy pickings?
They've done a thing called a BCM update. So basically, what a car thief will do is stand outside a window. Your car emits a signal, because when you walk up to your car magically opens by itself. It's a feature which you pay for. So they transport that signal from your house to being stood by your car. They have a device which literally thinks it's the key. Your car thinks that device, that box is your key. So, it just fools your car. And that keyless entry was a big part of theft, which you can take off. You can take off in your dash. You can go to your dealership, get it taken off.
Do they work? I've got one of those boxes at home. Do they work?
They definitely do. We did a video where we put the keyless entry key, we're sat in the car. All you have to do is press the button, and the key was in the Faraday pouch. As I opened the pouch and pulled the key off, I was pressing the button. It started as I opened the pouch. So it definitely works. It's the same as, the thieves who go into the supermarkets and have the lined bags. It stops that signal being transmitted. But yeah, the Range Rover, we did that video. They weren't very happy. We did a video on, Range Rovers being stolen, but they were number 1, 2, and 3 of the stolen cars at the time. We're only saying what it is, and they've done a BCM update.
So in a way, you did them a favour.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't quite see it like that. But they've done this BCM update, and it's definitely, it's definitely helped their cause, that's for certain. But I think the most stolen car, was a Fiesta, but I think that's because there's more Fiestas than any other car. So per 1,000, I'm getting, Range Rover is up there, but it's a great car, a very stealable car, very sellable parts.
Right. So it's not just because it's really bad, it might be because it's desirable.
Yeah, because, that a lot get exported, and that's a whole nother world. We've been to the docks, we've seen cars in, literally in containers, getting shipped all over the world. It's scamming, whatever you're into, whether it's, it's just a big thing now, isn't it? It's easy money.
Yeah. Wow. And what about this thing where, like Ferrari or Porsche, they'll make you buy like 3 or 4 of their standard models, which are clearly going to drop by 30 or 40%. And then hopefully you'll get the GT3 RS. And then you never end up getting the GT3 RS. Is that a scam, or is that just being smart with their brand?
That's business, isn't it? Very clever business model.
Do you think? Don't you think, though, taking the piss out of your customers?
Yeah, it's not morally correct, and it's not a way most of us would do a business. But when you've got shareholders and a company which is, all about chasing profits. It's a very clever business model to sort of dangle that carrot. And, it's that one car, that say a special edition car, is selling them 5 or 10 other cars, which they might struggle to sell. So they've got the profit out of all of those cars and still making profit on the desirable car as well. So if you want to play that game, but a lot of the people who have money are playing that game, and they're not stupid. They're quite aware that system is in place, but they choose to play the game because they want that ultimate car.
Would you play that game?
No.
Why? Because you can't be mugged off.
Yeah,
You're too smart for that.
Look, we said you can't kid a kidder.
No.
And I know. Luckily, my mum and dad brought me up streetwise, and I know when somebody's having my pants down, and so I decided.
Ferrari having your pants down.
No, I didn't say that. But no, do you want that car that much? And we did that video on that Porsche GT3 RS, and what made me do that video? It's not about their best customers. In theory, if they buy all those cars, get the GT3 RS. So everyone's happy. Everyone's agreeing to that.
But that's the issue I have. If they dangle the carrot and you never get it, that's wrong.
That's my thing.
If they say, look, I can't say exactly how many, but buy 3, 4, you'll definitely get one.
100%.
That's different.
And that's why we did that video, because we went into the first dealership, said, I want to buy a GT3 RS. We knew we weren't going to get one.
Yeah.
And he said, you have to buy so many cars. So I said, right, okay, how many cars? He said, well, 10 cars would,
10?
So I was like,
10?
But you've got that choice. Okay, so now we know that you spend 10 cars.
Not even you've got enough room for all of those. And I guess they're not the best cars either, the 10 you've got to buy.
They're cars which definitely lose money, and they're cars they can't sell very easily.
10?
But I would have been all right if it was 10. But then he said to me, so I said, does that get me a car? And he said, I can't guarantee it. But he didn't make that obvious before he told me I got to spend 10 cars.
Yeah. So what you got to buy like 10 Panameras or Taycans, which are going to halve in value. And you've got to buy 10, and then maybe you'll get a GT3 RS.
It's the maybe, the Taycans,
they have sunk in value.
Like a great car.
Second hand.
Nothing wrong. Like Porsche don't make a bad car. Like they're a great car, but it's up to you if you want to play that game of,
What are you going to do with 10 Taycans? Not even you.
Everyone, you feel like, I don't know. It's a difficult market, and you can see their business strategy. And, there was one thing we do is when we go on these exposing videos, which are very, very fun, because we start on the journey the same as the viewer who's watching it. We don't know where it's going to go.
Right.
It's a learning curve for us, and that's why it's so exciting. And we get into situations we're like, oh God, that's interesting. Oh dear.
Right.
We've got
so sometimes you're unearthing scams kind of accidentally.
Accidentally, yeah. And then, we go in. But what we definitely do is, if we've got some footage, we definitely look after the person who said that, and we don't get in the sack. We make sure that person is, although they've said the wrong thing, they're only trying to earn their money. So we make sure that we protect their identity, so the brand can't sack them for their job. Yeah. But sometimes we sort of like hear things and see things, and you're like, oh God, that's...
So what kind of things have people said that you're like, this is wrong?
We'll do a video, and it's quite obvious that their sort of business tactics are legal, but not probably morally correct, but it's legal.
So do you mean they're lying to you?
Yeah, or not sort of like not making it clearly transparent.
Right.
So, it's there's nothing wrong with their business practices, but, is it a correct way of working? I'm not so sure.
Well, also, just think about it. If you've got to buy 10 normal cars, I mean, even the 911s drop, and they don't drop masses. But 10 cars, what is the GT3 RS over list? It can't be more than 100, 150. I don't even know. But you're going to lose 300 to save 100, maybe.
100, and that's
why don't you just buy them on second hand above list?
Because somebody wants to spec their own car. Somebody wants to have that ultimate car.
You can always find a well-spec car, can't you?
Of course you can, and everything's for sale. You can buy one for over list.
Even your unique
Rock box. I don't know whether that's for sale.
SVJ is for sale.
Yeah,
what do you call it? The Rock Box.
Rock box.
Why is it called the Rock Box?
That's the reg ROT80X.
Right, and. So is that for sale? With the masking taped lights on the top?
I think I've been brought up working and selling, so everything's for sale. Yeah, 100%.
At the right money.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why, when we went on the GT4 RS, there was cars for sale, secondhand. So we did, where it got a little bit sort of naughty is we got offered a car. Okay, from a dealership, and I'd never say who the dealership is because everyone who buys from that dealership would be very upset.
Yeah.
And we got told if we bought 3 Porsche Taycans on that day, we could have a GT3 RS slot.
And did they want brand new Porsche
cars.
Taycans? Yeah.
Again, like I say, great cars. Great cars, but
half in value in 5 minutes.
We worked out it would have cost us, I can't remember what it was now, but it would cost us about £400,000 to buy those and sell them the same day.
So you'd have to stomach 400 grand of depreciation.
3
cars depreciate 400 grand straight off the forecourt.
Straight off the forecourt. It was something like that. And to have those cars, because they weren't just they were a Taycan, which was a Turbo S GTI XL,
spec'd up to the nines,
and but that's my choice now. I know that contract I'm
if they're being straight with you, then
and they totally were, and that was it was quite obvious that they wanted. There was no secret. You buy these 3 cars, which we're stuck with, and you get a GT3 RS.
I respect that more.
Yeah, 100%.
If it's clear,
but where it's a little bit wrong is what about those people who've bought 10 cars and they've been told there's none left?
Yeah.
So there's somebody sat there going, I've bought these 10 cars and I may be getting that, then all of a sudden the dealer says, unfortunately, Porsche's cut our allocation, something's gone wrong, the USA market has had more cars, whatever it is, but there's an excuse why they're not going to get the car this time. But keep on board with us, you'll get one next time. That was the problem I had. And that's why we didn't go through that deal anyway, because that was taking a car off somebody who deserved that car. I didn't deserve the car. I'd never bought a car off Porsche. I didn't have that buying history. I definitely didn't deserve that car.
So you said you go and do things and then these scams unearth themselves. What's the thing that surprised or shocked you the most?
It's the whistleblowers. We do a part 1. And we're always going to do just a single video, but then the emails start coming, the Instagram messages start coming.
Oh, as in all your fans who watch your show
have been in a similar situation or know even more about the subject we've done.
Right.
And then sort of like, you hear these stories people who have got a vendetta because they've been poorly treated by the company or the system or whatever they're in. And some of those get to the stage where I'd love to talk about them, but I'd lose my house, from being in some sort of court battle.
Right.
But
what one can you talk to us about?
What we haven't put on a video, none. We're quite happy to put everything out there which we know is legitimately correct, true, honest. Some of the things we get told, we're pretty sure they are true, but we've got no proof of that. And, you're messing with a David and Goliath type system. You're Mark from Redditch and they're a multi-billion dollar business which has to protect themselves. And, if they've got a stamp on you, they will.
Yeah.
But we've heard stories as a generic thing. We've heard of one thing which is really interesting. I'd love to do a video on safety recalls. So, we've all seen them. We have those pieces of paper come through the door saying, unfortunately, your wheel's falling off. We've had 3 of them happen. Your car needs to come for a recall. And we've got told from a very, very inside guy that there's been times where a company has had an accident. Okay, so something's fell off. Somebody's been hurt, killed, whatever that situation is. Terrible situation. Now, the company then, the manufacturer looks at that and says, right, somebody's died. That's just cost us £2 million in compensation or whatever, because it's going to come back on them. But the recall is going to cost 10 million. So then as a business decision, it's like, okay, we won't do anything yet. Let's see if anybody else gets hurt. So we don't do anything. When 2 or 3 people now add to the list and now all of a sudden it's cost 6 million, then the board will get together and go, right, we're going to have to do something now. The press are getting hold of this. We're having too many people hurt, which is costing us money. And then they go for the recall.
Wow.
Which,
yeah,
and we've got a brand which we know that's occurred. We've got people who used to work there who've showed this, but I'm not brave enough for that or stupid enough.
And I'm not going to push you, Mark, because you've been so kind to let us hear. So let's change the subject a bit. Is it true you bought the first ever car from Harrods? Is that true?
Yeah, well, a hypercar to me, growing up was a Bugatti, a 918, a LaFerrari, a McLaren P1. And I've always obviously dreamt, like everybody, of having a hypercar. Never thought I'd be in the situation to buy a hypercar. Luckily, through working and making good decisions and, being fortunate, I got myself into a situation where I could. And my friend and your friend, Carl Hartley, was in Harrods, and he was actually on holiday stressing me to, let's do a deal. Like, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Let's buy this car out of Harrods. You'll buy it from Harrods. You'll go into this special suite. Like, I've never been into Harrods. Mark from Redditch has never been into Harrods. Debenhams was my limit. M&S is too expensive. So
Carl was on you to get this deal.
Because he knew how special it would be, and I didn't see it as much as what he saw it. And for a YouTube channel, some of the decisions we make are based on making videos. That's what we do. So, we knew it was going to be, a decent video. And we went along and what a day, to go in there. And, I remember we went up for me and my friend Ollie, we went up for something to eat in this restaurant in there, and we had a salad. It was £25 for a salad. And it came, and I was like, how can that be? And I was thirsty. I wanted another drink. It was £7 for another. I thought,
and you're about to buy a £1 million car.
but it's like, do you like buying a bottle of water from an airport?
No.
You've got £1 here, then it goes to £2 in a service station, then it goes to
environment. It's all about environment.
And I don't like being ripped off, So, but it was the best salad I've ever had.
Right.
I don't think I'll ever get a nicer salad ever again. But this is the experience we had, and it was something I'd never seen Harrods. I'd never stepped in foot in Harrods, and we looked around some of the places in there, and the stuff which was for sale was an unbelievable experience. And to buy the car, we went up into this posh room, and they gave Senna a bag full of toys. They gave Jane these flowers in Louis Vuitton paper. The experience was just amazing. And then we got to drive the car out of Harrods. It's giving me goosebumps now. And there was a sea of photographers, and it was just, compared to buying a hypercar in anybody's world is going to be a mind-blowing day, but to do it through Harrods. And that car has now an invoice from Harrods. When I come to sell that car again, it was the car which was bought from Harrods. It's all over the internet. It was far from a secret. Everybody, before our video came out, everybody knew I'd bought that car.
Yeah.
But it made an exceptional experience 10 times better.
Yeah. And how much you pay for it?
It's embarrassing to say.
No, come on.
£1.2 million.
Why is that embarrassing?
Because people can't pay their fuel bills, can they? People can't.
Yeah, but that's not your fault, is it?
No, it's not. But it still upsets me that, I still think about the real world, because buying a £1.2 million out of Harrods isn't normal, is it?
No.
It's not the
But did you work hard your whole life?
Yeah, definitely. I've never ripped anybody off of the money. I'm not scamming anybody. We've got an honest family business which sells to big blue chip companies, and we don't take, unfortunately, we don't take cash. We don't get, we pay taxes on everything we earn. Yeah. So, it's not like it, but still, I've got a daughter, I've got a family, and I appreciate people are in a terrible place compared to the super fortunate position I'm in. So it does embarrass me to a certain extent, but like, you know, I've
But it
still
was a
done
dream?
it. Definitely a dream. Yeah, definitely a dream. And it was shared between all of us as well, you know, like, you know, our family and our, you know, our friends. And that car then, you know, it's the next level, you know, the places that then takes you to, the people you meet, you know, all of a sudden I've got an invite to places where people didn't want to know me before. Yeah. But again, can't kid a kidder, you know, I'm well aware that the only reason I'm getting an invite there is because I've got a posh car. So yeah, like it's definitely, it was the right decision. And I feel as well, you know, and this is what a lot of my cars have been about, it's an investment. And I feel, although it's a ridiculous amount of money and it's money tied up, that 1.2 million in theory should be 1.3 million, 1.4 million, 1.5 million.
You think it'll go up?
Yeah, I really do. You know, I haven't got a crystal ball, and if I had one, I'd only need it for 2 minutes just before the lottery on Saturday night. You know, you only need it for a split second.
Yeah.
And I haven't got that crystal ball. But what I have got is I've got knowledge and experience, you know, on my side, and friends who are in that world, including Carl, who sort of like, you know, you've got a fair chance of that car because of the rivals around that car, which were in the same sort of era and the same performance and the same, but just a different brand, which have also rocketed in value. And that's slightly behind the times, and hopefully it'll catch up.
Aren't McLarens notoriously bad to own?
You know, this is, everybody said that I've never had a McLaren before.
Right.
I'm massively into my Lamborghinis. I've never had a McLaren before. And everybody had the same thing, you know, this falls apart. And it's obviously, it's got to have been a thing in the past for them because, you know, it's what people talk about. It's obviously come from somewhere. Mine has a light on the dash, return to McLaren service centre.
Is that standard for those kind of cars?
And that's exactly
every time I turn my Lambo on, all the lights are on.
But that's
normal.
the thing. If you've got a Lamborghini, like an engine warning light is
like an indicator.
It's part of it, you know. And I think if you're one of those people which took it to every time that light came on, then you'd be there a lot.
Yeah.
But you know that if the car's working, it's not stopping, and there's no oil lights, and it's not losing oil, and it's not overheating. Yeah. It's just a little glitch, and a lot of time Control Alt Delete, turn off, turn on. But mine has been absolutely fantastic. It's not missed a beat. It's, you know, it has a bit of confusion every time, like every now and again, but. You know, I love the joy it brings to people's faces. You know, I love the fact that other people can enjoy that car. And that's what I always say that about Lamborghini, how they've got it so right with their styling is when you've got a 17-year-old lad who's into cars and he sees a Lamborghini and he wants a Lamborghini. He knows that that's a fast car, an aggressive car. It sounds amazing and it's expensive. But then you've got a 3-year-old walking down the street. Now he's on his way to school or holding his mum's hand going down the street. He stops in his footsteps and stares at this car going past. He doesn't do that to the car before. He doesn't do that to the car afterwards. He looks at that car and goes, oh my God. Now he doesn't know that that's a Lamborghini. And that's when you've got it right. And the same with a guy who's 90 years old. He goes, what is that? That's amazing. It's beautiful. Again, he doesn't know the value of that car. He likes it because his eyes. And when a 3-year-old has that natural instinct to love and to stare at that car, then you know you've done it right.
So would you pick Lamborghini or McLaren
then? For making videos, McLaren. They were so... I had an amazing relationship with Lamborghini. I've got a dealer I use they're fantastic people, but they just changed. Like the brand, I don't know what happened. Obviously, some people have said some bad things. YouTube's a very free speech place. And all of a sudden they got scared about what people were going to say. Obviously, they must have had a bit of bad, whatever the reason is. But we then got stopped from filming delivery, you know, taking delivery of a car.
Is that the Revuelto?
Yeah, there was that. It was after the route. I can't remember what, but yeah, it stopped. And
so they wouldn't let you film receiving your car. Is that what you mean?
They wouldn't be on camera.
Yeah.
The staff were told they couldn't be. despite them wanting to be and despite them being a
But
fantastic.
would that not be good marketing for them?
100%, and then we got the Temerario, the new V10,
Yeah.
and we weren't, which, the smaller car, which wasn't a V10, but then we weren't allowed to film spec in it.
Right.
Which, like what you said, publicity, like I've jumped a Sturato, like a car, like a Lamborghini Sturato. It was one of the best days of my life. It was amazing to do it. Like, what does that say for Lamborghini, that Mark can jump a car this far and 20 meters long and it didn't break? I can have a SVJ and race it around a dirt track. It doesn't break. The brand is fantastic. The cars are fantastic. Great. Everything about that brand I think is brilliant. But then when you stop, and this is what I've said to their PR team. I know the guy, like the head of PR, he's now moved on, real nice man. And I said to him, lots of people in this world, unfortunately, will never, ever be in a position to walk in a Lamborghini garage and buy a car. They're never going to have that opportunity, which is a sad fact, but it's a true fact. So I said to them that what we do with our YouTube channel is put a positive spin on that procedure. They see it through us, from speccing it to receiving it, to having the bottle of champagne, the croissants, whatever they give you on the day, to all the stuff which comes with a car, which is really special. A fantastic event to have any new car, never mind a new Lamborghini. Now, when they cut that tie and they stop you recording that then stops you sharing that with our audience. So then the audience who are 15 years old, who aspire to have a Lamborghini, will now no longer see that process.
Yeah.
So that takes away, to me, how special, because it is a special occasion. And if you can't see what that special occasion, if you close those doors, whether that's temporarily or permanently, we're yet to see, surely that's bad marketing.
Yeah.
Especially when we do nothing but say good things, because we've got no bad things to say, because they are great cars.
Maybe we'll have to find out. A big thank you to my sponsor, Coinbase, a leading online cryptocurrency platform for buying, selling, trading, storing, and staking cryptocurrency. I've said it before, but the system is broken. The banks, the politicians, the financial system, they're playing a game and we are the pawns. So what can you do? Well, you take proactive steps to regain control. And from me, I'm investing in many decentralized assets such as Bitcoin. Now, I recommend you do it properly through the only publicly listed global crypto exchange, and that's why I use Coinbase. Now, this isn't a get-rich-quick thing. You need to do your research. But Coinbase makes that simpler, as it gives you access to over 260 cryptocurrencies. From the established cryptos, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, to the emerging assets and even stablecoins, which are designed to be pegged and redeemable one-to-one to fiat currency like USDC. With Coinbase One, pay zero trading fees on trades up to £10,000 a month. If you're thinking about investing in crypto for the first time, Coinbase is publicly traded and listed on NASDAQ with transparency that you can trust. So if you're ready to take back control of your personal finances, then click the link in the description and sign up for Coinbase today. Now remember, do not invest unless you're prepared to lose all the money you invest. This is a high-risk investment and you should not expect to be protected if something goes wrong. This is not investment advice and it is not recommendation to buy or sell any particular digital asset. Let's talk about your cars.
Yeah.
So how many cars have you got in your collection?
Some of them we can't call cars.
Well, I walked around the back there. Yeah, you've got a hearse.
Yeah.
You've got...
But that's rear-wheel drive. So.
Like a Hummer, but actually a military type thing.
Yeah, military. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, Humvee.
All sorts of... But, okay, so count your supercars or rally cars. Roughly how many in your collection?
Really, really nice cars, probably. I'm lucky enough to probably have about 30. Like, nice cars.
Wow. And what's the value? What's the total value of those cars, you reckon?
Last time we did a counter, it was 7 million.
Wow, 7 million quid. And do you think that might go up over time, that collection? Is that why you collect them?
Yeah, there's definitely some of the ones which weren't going up I've got rid of
Right.
because I don't like losing money. I don't like, when I'm so fortunate to have cars which are similar, which don't lose money, why would I want to keep the one which does lose money?
Yeah.
New cars, as a rule now losing money, not because that's not a bad thing, that's normal.
Well, they always used to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've just gone back to that. So a lot of them are financial decisions to having the ability to have these amazing cars and to go up in value. Then, you know, it's absolutely fantastic to own a car, to look at a car, to enjoy a car and increase in money. Because if you're lucky enough to have that money, is putting it in the bank safe?
Well, also, interest is lower than inflation historically.
Yeah.
The interest that the banks pass on to you, and people don't always leave their money in good savings accounts. So, yeah, you're going to lose money saving it in the bank. But, of course, you could invest in property or something.
You know, a long-term investment, a house, a rent out, it just doesn't interest me. You know, I'm not into having a portfolio of houses. You know, I've never been down that route. I feel like I don't know anything about them. I know a lot about cars. I've always loved cars.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, like crypto, I put £3,000 in a crypto thing, and I went to bed one night, I woke up and it was 2,600 quid. I woke up the next morning and it was like 2,300 quid. So, you know.
Not even a Taycan drops that quick.
But I feel like I'm in a place where I love cars. And as you've seen, it doesn't have to be a £300,000 car. We've got out the back there £250 scrap minis, which I love to pieces. I've got the weirdest and wonderful cars, which I'm lucky enough to have. And I just enjoy looking at them, driving them. They've not even got to be a great car. They've just got to be a different experience.
Yeah. And what car lost you the most money?
Lamborghini Huracan Performante.
Did you buy it right at the peak over list?
I bought it at the worst time.
And what did you pay for it?
It was an ex-demonstrator and I paid £250,000 for it.
And what did you get back for it?
£160,000.
Right.
And so I lost 90 grand in 2 years.
Right. Regrets?
Never again.
No.
And the good so I sold it to Carl.
Yeah.
The Koth thing which was happening. The world was falling apart. Yeah. Everyone was panicking, including me. It was a car which I wasn't going to keep forever. The STO was coming and Carl was like, I'll buy it off you. I'll buy it off you. So he offered me an amount of money, or he offered an amount of money as a SOR. He doesn't really do that, but he was doing it for me. He was doing it as a friend. So I said, no, I'll take the cash now. Put it on his Instagram. He sold it by the time he got back to his So the SOR would have been a lot better for me.
Yeah.
That
was a good car, wasn't it? The Performante?
It was an amazing car.
Yeah.
And a dreadful decision, because now it's probably worth the same, if not more, than when I sold it in 3 years ago.
Are they the kind of car you can sort of run around in a bit? Like, not a daily, but you could.
You could use it as a daily. Yeah, it's definitely a daily car. It had the comfort seats. That was like, I definitely don't always get it right. You know, that was one which I definitely got wrong. But I've had plenty of those where it's been a very, very hurt. But then that's part of making money on others, is learning what's good and what's bad.
Yeah. And what about a car you've done really well on? What's the most you've made on a car, and which car?
Probably for a very horrible reason. I was a massive fan of a guy called Ken Block. So absolute legend of a rally driver, Gymkhana driver, like an amazing individual, a great man, a family man with an unbelievable talent. So I bought this Fiesta off him. For a Fiesta, it was £350,000. But this was a Fiesta like no other, like a purpose-built car which has billions of views on the internet. The ultimate rally car. I'm into my racing. It was the ultimate racing car. Paid a lot of money for it because it was Ken Block's. And I assumed that I'd meet him. Spoke to his team. I had various parts with the car, his race suit, signed things, all stuff which would only be any good to a Ken Block fan. And then unfortunately 6 months later, then he passed away.
Oh no.
So he was unfortunately, he died in a skidoo accident on, I think it was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And then that car was a car which did Gymkhana Dubai. A very, very famous YouTube video. Like I say, hundreds of millions of views in a land where people have got a lot of money. in a land where people have hotels, they have posh houses, they have money which isn't money. They have what they want because they've got that much money. A number isn't a thing. So when he died, I had a lot of people trying to buy that car, and still have a lot of people trying to buy that car now, and that increased. I could sell it right now for a massive profit.
Really? Roughly, what do you think you could sell it for?
I could sell it in a text message now for 3 million.
Wow. You still got it?
Still got it.
You'll never sell it?
I don't want to sell it. If for any reason...
10x.
It's mad. And
wow.
the sad thing is it's 10x for a horrible reason. He's left a wife and 3 kids behind.
Yeah.
It's like a horrible situation. People say don't meet your heroes, and everybody says great things about that man, that he was nice, he was this, he was that. So I'd have loved to have met him. But yeah, that's a car which, would I sell it? Of course I'd sell it. I wouldn't sell it now but if I got into a situation where I needed that money and that money became important, obviously it would have to go.
Yeah.
But at the minute I'm enjoying the car. It got me to go up the Goodwood Festival Speed Hill.
Oh, wow.
And I went to the ball, and I was stood next to Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber. And, so at the weekend we're at Gaston Track in that car, and you could see the joy it gave to people. But that car's a very special car because Ken Block absolutely abused the hell out of that car.
as you should.
He absolutely raced it to death. And when I bought it off them, they were happy it was coming to me because I was going to use it. But now...
So you use it, you drive it.
I've raced it round a field, I've jumped it, I've done all sorts of it. But now that whole car has changed.
Right, yeah.
Because people literally, they see that car and they cry. Fans of his, that is his car, that's the car. Out of all the cars he owned, that is the car.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, you've now got to treat that car with respect because it is a holy grail of a car.
Yeah.
So now I can't do, I can't wreck it, I can't crash it, I can't set it, in some sort of ball of fire in some stupid stunt.
Yeah.
So I've got to look after that car, which I'm fine with. And I drove it at the weekend. We had a team of us working on it. But again, to use that car, we had 3 people on that car at the weekend. You can't just start it up and drive it. It's like a piece of art which needs all sorts of stuff which goes well above my head. Like the fuel, I bought a can of fuel and it was 19 litres, and I can tell you exactly how much it was because it was £155 for 19 litres of fuel.
Wow.
And it uses 5 litres of fuel warming up. So to warm up's cost me like 40 quid. So it better be special.
Yeah.
And it is special. But such a great car. And an unbelievably sound investment. But to be honest, I wish it wasn't. I wish it was still worth £350. I wish it was still worth £350,000. And
Ken was still here.
Yeah, Ken was still here.
How old was he?
I think he was probably about 40, 45.
Oh, wow.
He was only young, And his daughter's doing really well. I've met a lot of his team who built the car now, who actually, the car was in America. And he's America and all, when I bought this car, I thought, if anything goes wrong with this, but they all live around here. Like Derek, the main guy who built it, lives in Solihull.
Yeah.
15 minutes from my house. A lot of the technicians who built that car live in the UK. God knows why. I don't really understand how that worked. But like I say, I wish Lucy still had a husband and Leah still had a dad. But
What would you say is the most underrated supercar? Maybe one you've owned or one you've driven, just people don't really get how good it is.
Honda NSX.
Because you've got one. Because you've got...
Honestly, it's the most...
Really? I was going to ask you about that.
Amazing car.
Really?
I went to a petrol station and I get a lot of people talking to me at the petrol, not because of YouTube, because of cars. People are into cars. It's a chance where you stood by a car, somebody walks past, and there was a guy who worked at a Honda dealership who'd never seen one. That's how rare that car was. And not because it was a limited edition, because nobody bought them.
Yeah.
Nobody bought them in the UK, which, that happens to a lot of cars. It's not particularly that they're a good car. It's just nobody buys them. So when they do become a bit collectible, there's not many to buy.
Because they're not massive money, are they?
That was I think I knew they're about 120, something like that.
Yeah.
And that now's worth probably 100, and it's never dropped since the day I bought it.
Right.
Because they're so rare. But like, it's so comfortable, it's so fast, it's so reliable. It's just a fantastic car.
Do you think that will go up one day?
I think it won't particularly lose, but it's never going to make a fortune. But
No.
it's like, I like a car, not necessarily to make money, but a free car. You know,
Yeah.
A car
Free use. Yeah.
free use, and like it ends up being the same amount of money. I've got quite a few cars which, you know, have been, you know, free cars, and when you come to sell them, or you look how much they're fetching, you know, that Aventador SVJ, it's been on a journey from 380 down to 300, now up to 450.
And what did you give for it when you paid?
I bought it new 379.
Right.
But it's supply and demand.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Free use.
Free use, you know,
Yeah.
and what a great car to keep. And, you know, imagine being a classic car seller, you know, when things are good, like Tom Hartley Jr. You know, imagine having stock and not selling a car, but knowing it's probably beneficial not to have sold that car.
Yeah, just keeps going up.
Imagine that. Imagine your stock value increasing every day you don't sell a car.
Yeah.
But that could obviously also go horrifically the other way.
Yeah.
But then we've been in bad times in our country for how many years, and they're still going up.
Yeah. Don't you think they look a bit boring, those NSXs? It confused me because, like, I'm looking at this when you let us in going, I've never seen that Ferrari before. What Ferrari is that? And it's got Ferrari badges all over it. So number one, isn't it a bit of a boring looking car? And number two, why has your Honda NSX got Ferrari badges all over it?
Rob, it hasn't got Ferrari badges on it.
Yes.
You're clearly lying. You're clearly hallucinating.
Looks like a prancing horse to me.
You're obviously wrong. Yeah, that was... do you know how it started? Is we went to go to Cafe and Machine, and it was Italian sports car day. So we changed its identity. You can be anything these days, can't you?
Yeah, that's true. Just change its gender.
Change its identity for the day. So it turned into that. But I think it's a good-looking car. You're not into it?
Just looks a bit plain. It looks a bit American. Looks a bit plain. Could be you know, a Chevy.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you're obviously not right, but it's fine.
I'm entitled to my opinion,
yes,
Mark.
you are.
Aren't
That's
I?
right. You are. That's the world.
A lot of
we live
people
in.
say I know fuck all about cars, so that's
I just
fine.
didn't want to say that on your podcast.
Oh, you could say whatever you want. Oh, so you like the look of it, do you?
Yeah, I definitely like the look. I think it's a great car. I think it's comfortable. It does everything.
But you just said you like the look of it. Oh, it's comfortable. So you just moved back to the comfort element.
Yeah, no, it's
because that looks. A Lamborghini looks like a supercar.
But then, like, this is how spoiled I am. Is when, you know, when you've got a Lamborghini, which is so spoiled and sounds so bad. Like, sometimes you do look for that other thing,
right?
You know,
because you're surrounded by Lambos, you like the Honda.
Yeah, like, so like if you're lucky enough to be in the situation where you want to try something different, then I did try something different.
Okay, fair enough. What about the most overrated car you've ever driven? Like, what is all the fuss about with this? Well, maybe you've owned.
Toyota, the Yaris, the GR Yaris. Like this.
Is that overrated? People like that, do they?
Oh, they absolutely. There's like the comments again. They could be coming in. Honestly, like the press went down on this car that it was just amazing, and like I just didn't get it.
No,
I just didn't get it, and like it was it was about 40 grand, like an expensive-ish car. That's for certain. It was I'm into my rally cars. This was like a rally car. Don't get it. Don't get it.
What didn't you like about it?
Just wasn't excited. It just didn't make any noise. And another one, which is terrible to say after all the fuss I went to, that GT3 RS, that Porsche GT3 RS. To look at, unbelievable, absolutely amazing. But my problem with that car is I live in Redditch and I work every day in a factory in Birmingham. I have a 20-mile commute in traffic. When I am lucky enough to go in a Lamborghini, It's like that all the way. The noise. There's lights on the dash.
Yeah.
I have to get out. The doors open. I have to climb out.
Single clutch
The
gearbox.
single clutch.
Yeah.
It's hard to get in.
Yeah.
It's like trying to work the radio or anything is like a mission. Like everything about that car is like a theatre of driving from A to B.
Yeah.
And I went in that Porsche GT4S. I remember coming down the first day I got it. I came down the stairs in the morning, looked at it, parked it right outside the front door, and I was like, oh my God. And then I drove it to work. Porsche make fantastic cars. That is a fantastic car, but it just didn't do anything extravagant. Now it does when you take it to the Nürburgring. When you go around Silverstone, the downforce or whatever that car does immensely must be amazing. Driving on the M5 and the M42 from Redditch to Birmingham was not the most exciting experience I've ever had.
So basically that car is too good for its own good.
I did the same with a 488 Ferrari. I test drove a 488 Ferrari, and I remember driving it, and the salesman said to me, this changes gear in 60 milliseconds, faster than the blink of an eye. I want to feel the gear change.
Yeah.
I want to feel the car doing stuff. I want to feel that engineering. I want to feel that feedback.
Can't you get the GT3 RS in manual though?
No.
Doesn't do manual?
No, in GT3 it does, in GT3 RS not.
Oh, okay, fine.
But it wasn't just that. It was just like it didn't sound like, like I say, no doubt about it, an amazing car and, like an amazing achievement to own a GT3 RS. But the most exciting car, no. A car I kept, no.
Did you make on that car?
No, like when I bought it, we did a video. They were about £380,000 at one stage.
For a Porsche?
They were 500 grand at one stage.
And what was the list on them?
260.
Double list for a 911 turbo with a wing on it.
Double
list. Yeah. Double list.
Double list. Now they're worth... Now, when I bought it, they were 380. But then I got a fantastic deal off Lewis. He wanted to be a part of the video, better performance, did a great deal for me. It was a 380 car. We did it for 330. So I was happy.
Yeah.
I got a car, the right money. He was happy. He got part of the video. It was like, everyone was happy.
Yeah.
He then rang me up a month later and said, do you want to get out of your car? There's a raffle company wanting to buy your car. I sold it back to him for the same amount of money.
Right.
Because they dropped that much.
Yeah.
My 380 cheap car at 330 was now 330.
Right.
And now they're 260. They're back down to list. So some people have lost £240,000.
On a Porsche. Because the 911s, they don't drop crazy. They're one of the slower depreciators.
Yeah,
aren't they?
great car.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of 911s because it was a local dealer to us, and like as a kid I'd go in there dreaming and I wanted to tick that box. I remember having the first 911 I had ever had. It was the first supercar I'd ever had. Yeah. And I had there wasn't Excel spreadsheets or anything like this. So I'd drawn like a rectangle, and on there was increments of £1,000 up to £68,000. And every time I saved another £1,000, I drew another,
like shaded it
it in until
nice.
It got to the top. And then I went and bought that the day that I remember the day very, very well. And it was £68,000 for a 993 Targa, Zenith blue with silver interior.
That must have done you pretty good, that car.
Bad day.
Oh, go on, tell me.
It got stolen.
Oh, no. Like, how long had you owned it?
3 hours.
Was this your first supercar?
First supercar.
First supercar that you'd shaded in increments of £1,000, probably worked overtime every weekend.
Every weekend. And car boot sales. We would do.
How old were you when you bought it?
I was 23.
So young that's young to get a Porsche
to have
911.
There wasn't many people driving around in 20, unless sort of like, you were lucky enough to have a billionaire dad. You definitely weren't driving around in a 911, which but I'd pay for it myself. As simple as that. Like,
did you buy it cash?
Yeah.
So you bought it outright. You'd save for years.
For years. I was brought up in a house where my dad would not let me pay monthly for anything, and unless I could afford it, I was not having that. So I managed to afford it. On the way home, lived with my mum and dad. On the way back from there, there was we had to go past a prison, which is obviously still there now. There was obviously some lads who were visiting somebody in the prison, and absolute worst timing, they must have followed me. So I pulled into the driveway at home, left the keys in it, left it running.
Oh, just nipped into the house?
Nipped into the house to get my mum and dad to show them a new car. In hindsight now, it's probably not the smartest move. But cars, you know, people weren't keyless entry and selling cars, stealing cars. It wasn't really a stealable car. I had big trouble with the insurance. But
because it was open and on.
But there was a thing then, it probably wouldn't even exist now, but we were we proved that we were still in control of that car, because I was there. When the guy ran onto the drive, I had my hand on the car. So he's in the car, he's reversed off the drive, I'm watching my car go down the road. So, great story. So my mum had a Golf automatic. My brother and my dad have jumped into the Golf automatic. So now we're going down the A38.
Chasing it.
In a big pursuit. I've got in my dad's, it was a Mercedes, like estate car, diesel estate. So now there's 3 cars, 2 with the McCanns in. The McCanns are hot chasing this baddie. And I remember going through the one bit and a car pulled out at me at the wrong time. Now I realise it was his mates.
Right.
So they're trying to stop us. We get up to the A38, Junction 1 at Bromsgrove. He stupidly doesn't go on the motorway. At that stage, he could have done 180 mile an hour. Well, 168 mile an hour, I think he did. He could have been gone.
Yeah.
He's carried on down the A38 because obviously being a car thief, I dare say he's not the sharpest like knife. So he's hit traffic. As I come round the corner, my dad and my brother in front, I see a Porsche going through a hedge with my brother and my dad in my mum's Golf automatic attached to the front of it. So they've rammed him straight off the road through this hedge. And I remember mate is instantly in the Porsche and he's gone into somebody's front garden. I remember the dirt spraying up from where he's wheel spinning. So of course then we've now got 2 crash cars. We've got a Porsche, which was stolen, now is recovered, but got the shape of a Golf attached to the back of it. So now we've got a brand new car smashed up. We've got my mum's Golf smashed up. So then I've come down the road next. So I'm next on the scene. Mate is out the car now and he's running down the A38 towards me. I've gone straight up the curb to try and run him over. Like any thought of like common sense is now gone.
Yeah.
So I've gone up the curb, tried to run matey over. He's dived into the garden. I've jumped out of the car. That is an automatic, so that's now carried on. So now we've got, that then ends up crashed as well. So now we've got 3 cars now damaged. We've caught up with matey in the back of this garden. He's like, we've managed to catch him up. And I remember there was this poor old guy doing his veg with I remember he had a garden fork. He's like then seen 3 McCanns on this guy, having a quiet word with him like you do when you're like 23 years old. And so he's coming out of now with a pitchfork going, leave him alone. Anyway, police came. And this is what my dad, like, I miss my dad dearly, so bad. And this was my dad. He was brought up on the streets of Birmingham, he had 5 brothers and a sister. And he always used to joke, the last one up didn't get a pair of socks because there wasn't enough socks for everybody. On a Tuesday night, they used to have banana sandwiches for their tea. He'd never eaten steak until he met my mum, because my mum obviously came from a slightly different background to my dad. The guy was in the back of the police car. So the guy now is in the back of the police car. He can't get out because he's opened his window and he's shouting things. They've had a word with me. They've hit me and stuff like that. My dad got into the back of the car with him.
And then what happened?
It was like a cartoon.
Yeah,
people rolling.
With the arms and legs coming out of the clouds. Yeah.
But that was my dad. Like he didn't give it, like he was a tough man.
Yeah.
A tough man. He gave us a tough hard,
Yeah.
We had my mum. My mum was my mum. She loved us and told us she loved us every day. My dad was my dad. Never told me he loved me till the day he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Porsche 911 day was quite an interesting day, but yeah, we managed to get the insurance. But
How did you manage to get the insurance?
because it was classed as because I was still next to the car, you know, like when it got stolen, I was still in control of the car. I think if I'd have been in the house for 15 minutes and it was gone, but you know, we had CCTV and it clearly showed that I was holding onto the car as matey was reversing it off.
Yeah. And do you think car insurance is a bit of a scam?
We've done a lot about in car insurance, and it's very confusing. And the reason it's very confusing is because of computers, algorithms. You know, you can have a car. If you shop round, we've done videos on it. If you shop round and find the right car, it's not expensive. If you want the car you want and you live at the address you live and you're the age you are and you're, you know, even down to ethnicity and your surname, if you are that person and you want that particular car and those boxes you tick don't line up, it's
expensive.
Day.
Yeah.
But then somebody else, you know, we've had emails where somebody would be £3,000. They've moved house 5 miles down the road, and then the computer said it's like £70,000.
Wow.
You know, it just doesn't get it sometimes. There's just a big disconnect from that. But, you know, the insurance stuff we uncovered there's just so much waste of money, so much. And we're going to do another video on it. We've challenged the government. They're just being a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. They're just, you know, we've got MPs involved. We've got petitions going for them to like see it through with the House of Commons.
When you say it's a waste of money, what's the waste of money?
Basically, one of the massive things is repairing cars. Okay, so you crash into the back of me, you're now at fault. So then I take my car into a garage and I say, Rob's hit me, repair my car. And they say, Rob's hit you. I say, it's Rob's fault. And I go, yep. And they go, okay, we'll repair your car. Now, do you want a courtesy car? And I'm like, do you know what? Really appreciate that, but I've actually got another car at home. I'm like, now Rob's caused you some inconvenience. You should really be in a courtesy car. Now they give me a courtesy car, which is better than my car, which you've hit. So all of a sudden I'm in no rush to get my car back because I'm having a courtesy car, which is better than the one which you've smashed up. So then obviously tactics for some company would be then to slow down on that build because they're going to get the money out of that anyway. But also now they're making money out of a rental car.
Right.
So that's a thing which has been going on. Also parts. Now, actually, the insurance company have changed now. They're using a thing called green parts, which basically means second-hand parts. So cars were legitimately being not repaired because they were waiting for a left indicator on a Subaru, whatever, which they can't get hold of. Well, now they are now starting to use second-hand parts because it's a second-hand car. As long as it works and perfect and it saves the whole world money because they're not claiming on insurance, they're doing that different, which is good. And then cheap car insurance is expensive for younger people because statistically they have more risk. And one of the massive parts we found out as well, which is really, really interesting, when we were trying to find out why they're more expensive, when I cripple myself in a car crash, I've got so many years to live life expectancy. When a 17-year-old does it, looking after that person who is now crippled is a whole different amount of money to me doing it. But also, I'm likely to do it by myself. Mr. 17-year-old man has probably got 3 of his mates in the car. So now they've got a claim on 4 17-year-olds, which is hundreds of millions of pounds. So that's why another reason why we found out where car insurance, although it's horrible that it is so expensive for younger people. I'm not saying there's all the right reasons for it, but there's a lot of shady stuff which happens, but like some of it is just for a reason.
So an area of car insurance I feel is a bit of a scam. So outside my office, we have our car parking spaces. I had my DBS parked stationary and a Yaris reversed into it. We swapped details. I wasn't in my car. It was stationary and the Yaris reversed into it. And my business partner said to me, don't claim. I'm like, what do you mean? Because I tried to claim. So I guess the Yaris is a few £100 to repair. I guess my DBS is a few grand to repair. Not only would it put my insurance premium up significantly, even though it was her fault, we've got a fleet of 15 cars. Puts the policy up on all those cars as well. Surely that's a scam.
It's terrible. And also your car now gets repaired. Everybody knows it's been repaired. It's now worth less money when you come to sell it. If you can, so many people now are funding their own cars for that reason.
Which means you're paying twice. You're paying for insurance and then just repairing it yourself. That's a scam.
You're paying your insurance so you don't get arrested by the police. You're not paying for your insurance to claim on your insurance. You haven't got insurance because you can't afford to claim on it. It's ridiculous. A non-fault claim is bizarre. How you can, but you statistically, because it's a computer, are now more likely to have an accident because you've been in an accident.
Even though it's stationary outside my office, I'm not even in it. Someone's reversed into it.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But it's this is part of the things which we're trying to get looked into is now, like we were with a body shop, we were working on a video about electric cars, and we were with a body shop with Richard on Sunday. So we went and saw him, and he was saying that a lot of his work now was through insurance company. Now it's retail. So people are going into his place and saying, can you fix my car? Because they're not claiming on their insurances. So even when that bill is £3,000, £5,000, your insurance is going to go up £1,000. You lose your no claims. Next year it's going to go up £1,000. The year after.
And then if you've got more cars on your own policy, if you're a letting agency and you've got loads of cars on your policy.
And obviously they're not going to insure in a different car because you've had an accident. So it's car insurance is just a minefield, isn't it? And we've done some videos on it. They've done really well, and we're going to do. But again, this is the government all over. Geez, there's a petition. Obviously, you can go onto the website and you can get 100,000 signatures, and then it gets read out in the House of Commons. It's forced that they have to discuss your topic because as a population, as a community, and England, the UK, we've spoken. So then they have to read it out. Now, at the time we did this video, obviously on that day, we had to put a link to our petition site. The government had changed. We were in between changing from Conservative to Labour. I might actually have that wrong, but because I'm rubbish at...
No, you've got that right.
Right, okay, so we were changing. As you can tell, I don't vote.
Yeah.
So we were changing. And basically, the government website was shut because obviously it was a change of government. You couldn't put so we went to change.org. So it's just a separate website which you can still do exactly the same thing. So we did that. We've got 110,000 signatures or whatever. Now, the government have said to us that they will only accept a petition from their government website. So we've said, hang on a sec, your government website was closed. This is change.org. It's a proper, those 110,000 people are real. We've not done some bot. Those people are real. They're people who want us to investigate, want us to force the government to investigate this car insurance scam. So we're just going through that now to try and figure out how we get around that. So we're in contact with our local MP. He said to us that, it's great. So he said that he couldn't do it when we asked him because he wanted to put all his full attention into it and he couldn't offer us his full attention. So now he's still not got his full attention. So basically he's still busy. So at some stage, maybe we'll get our full potential. But again, the power of YouTube is amazing because if he doesn't give us his full attention, I'll tell everyone he's not giving us his full attention. And then he'll be forced to give us our full attention, which is like, it's horrible to play that card. But luckily we've got a bit of power because of our YouTube to look after our audience and to try and, you're lucky you can afford your insurance. I'm lucky I can afford my insurance. I don't want to, but I can. I'm lucky. But some of the people who are our viewers who want us to fight their corner can't afford their insurance. So it's, it gives us motivation to get out there and get them to change it. And hopefully we will.
So of your 30 supercars, which one do you drive the most and which one do you drive the least?
The one I've driven the most, which I own now, is the Lamborghini Sturato. It's closely being followed by the Ferrari SF90, but that Lamborghini Sturato is just the most epic car. It's basically a jacked up rally car Lamborghini. But how I explain it is it's a supercar without any supercar problems. So you're in your Aventador, you've got to worry about a hill start, you've got to worry about, you can't go in a multi-story car park. No. You've got to be careful where you park it. You've got to be careful of potholes. You literally have to look if you've got a pothole. If you do a curb, you're done.
Yeah.
There's so many problems with the car you own. Like it's a single, like there's so many amazing things about that car, but it's still a proper supercar. That Sturato, all of those problems are gone. So it's still a Lamborghini. It still sounds unbelievable. You're still sat in this theatre.
Is it still fast?
It's unbelievably fast. It's absolutely.
But it's quite a lot higher, isn't it?
All it is so it's got smaller alloys, bigger tyres, and it's higher. That's the main differences. But because of that, it makes it usable.
Yeah.
And it looks crazy. It's got bolt-on plastic arches.
Yeah.
It just looks.
Has it got lights on it?
Lights on the front. It's got a roof bar. Like it's a really, really cool car.
Yeah.
Really cool car. And that's probably the one I've used the most because it's a bit of me. I'm into my racing, and that's like a real. It was the SVJ I've used a lot. Well, I have used a lot. That's done 13,000 miles. I think it's on right now,
which is quite a lot for an SVJ.
And we've done amazing things. We've done the Gumball. We've done the Yanamais tour. There's a lot of good memories in that car.
Yeah.
You know, really, really good memories in the car. So again, that one I've used the C63 Black Series quite a lot.
Which is behind me here.
Yeah, I've got a white one as well, which I use a lot more. That's only done 3,000 miles.
Right.
So that's definitely a big collector.
Yeah.
I've got CLK DTM, very, very special car. They only ever made 100 of those, the Mercedes. I've only used that for probably 5 miles.
5
miles because it's like so special that, you know, it's just.
What would that roughly be worth?
350, 400.
Right.
And I paid 178 for that.
Wow.
So that's, again, like a fantastic car.
Yeah. And cars like that, do you buy them because you love them, or do you buy them because you think, you know what, I think that's going to do well?
That one was definitely because it would do well.
Yeah.
Like I had no desire to, like if I really wanted that car to drive, I'd have driven it.
Yeah.
You know, because I think it's on about 10,000 miles. So another 500 miles wouldn't have hurt. Wouldn't have hurt whatsoever. But no, that one was definitely an investment car because it's so unique. Like most of my cars I've bought are because it's a payoff. You know, you sort of like, I want to own it, but I won't own that one because it's going to lose money.
Right.
I also want to own that one. That's a much safer bet. I'll compromise slightly. It's hardly a massive compromise. It's not third world problems, is it? But
so you will let the appreciation value drive your decision now?
100%. There's a car coming to the channel which we've done a couple of videos on called a KTM. You know well, a Crossbow GTXR, a road car. From a little company which is massive in the motorbike world, tiny in the car world, very successful. You know, I've raced motocross a lot. I've had KTMs, great bikes. Went and saw this car. It is just, I can't even explain. It's so special that everyone thinks I'm getting paid to say it.
Right.
It's so, even talking about it makes me smile.
Yeah.
The car is unbelievable.
Are you going to buy one?
I've bought one.
Oh, you bought it?
But I'm worried it's going to lose money. It might also go up.
They're quite expensive, aren't they, those ones?
Yeah, that for a decent spec, you're nearly £400,000 by the time.
For a KTM.
By the time you've got it here.
Yeah, wow.
But
you bought one anyway.
It's one of those where I've definitely gone with my heart.
Yeah.
Like if I was doing a business move, like probably I wouldn't have bought it, which doesn't sound very good for them. But it's one of those where if you had £200,000 or £300,000, £400,000, if you're buying your first supercar, you're not going to buy a KTM.
No.
You're not.
Well, most people won't even know what it is, will they?
Like you'd buy a Lamborghini Huracan, you know, or an Audi R8 or an
SF90 you can get for that money now.
All of those sort of cars, like you wouldn't buy it. But, you know, again, I'm lucky enough that I've ticked that box. So I'm looking for a more extreme box. And that is like, the only way I can explain it is imagine a racing car and then doing the absolute bare minimum to get a V5 on it. And that's exactly what that car is. Like, you take the steering wheel off and it's like a digital steering wheel.
Yeah.
It's like it's just on, it's here. It's here. So it's being, with Onyx now being PPF'd, I'm just waiting for all the paperwork. I'm just staring at the mailbox every day, waiting for the V5 to come through. And then I get to drive this car, which is just,
And then you're going to do a video on it.
We do a video on its first drive, which is going to be, doing our videos now is quite difficult because we no longer do vlogs. We story tell. So, you know, there's so much work goes into them. And, you know, most people, when they buy a new car, drive to the Nürburgring, they go to the Autobahn, they drive to Monaco. Epic videos. But we try and be different and more interesting than that. So, you know, we bought when I bought the P1, you know, really we should have gone to Nürburgring is what we should have done. But instead we went to Silverstone for a track day, the ultimate British car around the ultimate British racetrack. And then we drove to the Isle of Man, to the mountain where there's no speed limit. So the ultimate British driving road. So you know, it was, and that's what we try and do. So what we do with the KTM, I don't know.
What about, would you race anyone in it? Have you ever raced anyone?
Yeah, I've done quite a bit of, we've done quite a bit with my friend Matt Armstrong on racing cars. So when he does...
Is this just like on the straight drags? Or?
No, so I've done Carwow quite a few times, which are good fun, but Matt tends to do like circuits. So we like when he finishes a build, he'll then invite a few of us to do races around the track as the sort of like the final sort of perfect moment for the car he's built.
Yeah.
So I've done the Revelto on the one video. I did the SF90 recently. That was quite cool because it was like a load of YouTubers, you know, all idiots. Like I better not say Tim first because he'll go mad, because I don't mean he's the biggest idiot. So there was Shmee there was Mr. JWW, there was Matt, there was all sorts of like Nico, a load of different people there, and we all took turns racing, which was absolutely brilliant.
Nice. And this KTM, you think is this like the next level of racing car? Is it?
What would be really interesting is an SF90 is a next level car,
right?
1,000 brake horsepower, hybrid, but not a hybrid to save Wales. We're talking a hybrid to make the thing go faster for no other reason. Like they're definitely not ticking any green boxes with that car. It's literally just performance.
Yeah. And is it insane performance?
It's the most ridiculous car you could ever imagine.
Really?
Like, it's got qualifying mode. How can you not love a car with qualifying mode?
Or is that the fastest mode, qualifying mode? As in you're trying to qualify for the F1?
That's exactly what that means. How can you not love? So like I do the school run in qualifying mode. And I get daddy don't go fast, and then occasionally I get daddy go fast.
Right, yeah.
So she sat by the side of me and we had it in qualifying mode.
Yeah.
Going down the dual carriageway, I give it a little bit of a blip in the throttle. The thing went like from that to like that.
Really?
In a split second.
Shit.
We're not going in qualifying mode on the way to school anymore. But it scared the life out of me. But we did a race around Kerber, like a sprint track. It's almost like a go-kart track. And we did Revelto against SF90, and the SF90 won, but it won because it was like
Did it win by, was it a lot?
A fair amount. It was
really?
Like probably 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But it was just like the change of direction, the car. But even that car then, I was scared to go flat to the floor unless I was straight. Because
of the power?
Because it would just spin up and go sideways and end up in a barrier.
Yeah, wow.
And there's no insurance, obviously, at that stage.
No.
So that was a car. But the good thing is now we've got that SF90, which we've proven is one of the ultimate fast cars around a track. The KTM against that would be unbelievable because the KTM is half the brake horsepower.
But it must be really light.
It's so light.
Yeah.
So light. It's like 2/3 of the weight of that SF90.
Yeah.
It's got racing suspension. And I think that car will give the SF90 a run for its money.
And is that sounds like it's a video coming?
Definitely
up.
a video.
You've got to do a video on that.
We want to do a drone, and do you know like how they do the ghosted cars?
Oh yeah.
So you can see.
Yes, yeah.
Because I think on the straight the SF90 will go like that, but
Yeah.
I think in the corners
It'll
I think the
catch up.
KTM will catch up, and I honestly think it's going to be close.
Wow.
Which for KTM would be such a statement.
Yeah.
To be faster like them, one of the most ultimately fast Ferraris ever made, to be probably you probably argue they're probably the fastest, apart from the new version.
Yeah. What is going on though with this Ferrari design? Because the SF90 and now is it the F80?
Yeah.
It looks like they look like bricks. They look like American bricks.
I think maybe what's happening now is, we've gone from, we're chasing this lap time. We're chasing this Nürburgring lap time.
Right.
And I think sometimes prettiness has to give way to performance.
But wasn't that Ferrari was always about how beautiful they looked, wasn't it?
100%. But they're in you've got to think, what was a thing was 0 to 60, wasn't it? 0 to 60 was a thing. Now, because of Tesla, it's no longer a thing, is it?
Right.
Braking 3 seconds and then 1,000 horsepower is a thing. Is that a thing now? No, because all sorts of stuff has got 2,000, 3,000 horsepower. So we're running out of things to compare. Like a plaid Tesla is faster than an SF90. It's stuff is changing. What is still, numerically watchable is a time around the Nürburgring. That's still a thing. So I think these car manufacturers are making cars which can go, can set that lap time, because this is the thing. A top speed is still a number, and so it is a Nürburgring racetrack number. Right. So I feel like maybe that's what becomes, aerodynamics handling becomes over pretty.
Yeah. And I suppose they're going to sell out of them, aren't they? I mean, how many F80s will be made? 500?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. It's not many.
I really, again, I'd love...
But look at the F40 and then look at the F80.
A LaFerrari.
Yeah.
But are these cars sold out? Are they?
Well, surely you're going to sell 500 F80s.
Are they?
I mean, I'd assume so.
I'd assume so, but are they? I hear all these stories that they're not. I hear these stories
it looks like a Duplo brick. Sorry, I'm allowed to give my opinion. It looks like a Duplo brick.
That's Rob's opinion, not mine. But
do you think the F80 looks sexy?
No, I'm not a massive fan. I'm not a massive fan. Like, I love what Ferrari do. I love the Ferrari brand. I love their 348, 360, 430. Like, I love my SF90.
Yeah.
Would I want an F80? No. Have I got the money to buy F80? No. But if I did have it, would I? No. No, I wouldn't. I'd buy a McLaren W1. I'd buy an AMG one. There's plenty of cars I'd buy before that. But all these special edition cars now, if you've got a lot of money, there's obviously people out there in lands, like the Arabs, who have got so much money that an F80 is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if it loses £1 million. But there's also a lot of people who have got money, who are clever individuals who have earned that money. And they're not, even though they can afford to lose £1 million, they're not going to put their money in something knowing that they might lose £1 million. So are these cars sold out now? I'm not sure they are. Obviously, we're led to believe that they're sold out. I've bought cars before where they're sold out, but we've managed to get another one.
Yeah.
There's, again, like Tim Smee's got this amazing website where, they put, again, car manufacturers, do they always tell the truth? He's got a website and it shows how many cars are made. There's plaque cars on that website, plaqued cars with 350 which have been made, and there's 370 of them driving around.
Right.
Now, is that illegal? That's got to be illegal.
Yeah.
It's got to be like, if you're investing in a plaque car, you're putting your money in that car.
The scarcity value. Yeah.
So that's a business decision of you spending your hard-earned money. Now, when they're lying to you and there's more cars than there actually is, again, a great video, but again, It's a video which I'd love to do, but I'm not brave enough.
You're the man for it, surely. You are the man for it. I mean, you've had death threats.
Yeah, but like, I've had a death threat, but
you just don't want to go for the big companies.
These big companies, they'll squash you, won't they? If they really, really want to. If like, you know, that's the power of YouTube as well. A lot of people would go for that because they'd love the story, but I've got a sensible wife who wants a roof over her head. So, you know, it's, I've got a lot to lose. I've got a very fortunate position, a very fortunate life. And, you know, there's pick your fights, pick your battles, box clever.
Yeah, that makes sense. Rank these supercar brands in order. Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren.
Right now, I think McLaren.
You think McLaren are top?
I really, really do.
What have you just put in that drink? You're putting McLaren over Ferrari and Lamborghini.
For me,
let's get in the comments on this.
Right,
come on.
Now the reason I'll give you some great reasons.
Okay. Just because you bought a P1.
Yeah, and I want it to go up in value.
Yeah,
I'm selfish.
Yeah.
McLaren right now are on this trajectory of amazingness. You know, they've got a lot of car sales, a lot of people's perception on cars is Formula One. They've got this thing going on where they're winning with two amazing personalities of Oscar and Lando. You know, they are, the trajectory they're on is unbelievable. Kids right now, they want a McLaren. Like what you've got to think of with an investment, it's not about today. It's definitely not about today. It's about 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. McLaren right now, I believe, will be the brand, because if they carry on doing what they're doing, they carry on winning, they carry on making these amazing cars, they carry on, you know, the good thing about McLaren is you can work your way up. You can buy a 570 for 60 grand, or you can have a F1 at 25 million. You know, there's that spread, which, you know, they are absolutely amazing cars. When I was a kid, Ferrari was the car. Tom said, like now you need a moustache, really. But they're not as cool as they were. If you ask a kid right now, if you ask a 17-year-old, most 17-year-olds, what do you want? They want a Lamborghini.
Yeah. Ferraris are older male demographic.
Now you've got to think of that in 20 years' time. The people who want a Lamborghini now are going to be able to afford a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy a Ferrari because they don't want a Ferrari.
Right.
And I feel that's what's happening there. So Ferrari, I feel, obviously they're not dead in the water. They are amazing, and they've got like the price of their old cars is next level. The brand is very clean. The brand, like, you know, they do everything right, but they're not as fashionable with the youth as what they were.
Yeah,
McLaren definitely is.
Right.
Lamborghini are next level. You go into a shop, you want to buy a remote control car, it's a Lamborghini. If you go into a shop and you want to buy a T-shirt, it's like Lamborghini, kids' toys, remote control cars, like posters on the wall, T-shirts, Lamborghini is the brand. Now, when I was at the Formula One, this is really interesting why I say McLaren, bit of inside knowledge, might have cheated. So I was at the F1 the other day. I know a girl who works on the merchandise stall. She sold 3 times the amount of McLaren tops than she did Ferraris.
Wow. Okay, so you're saying McLaren?
I say McLaren's just below Lamborghini.
Just above?
Sorry. But then just below McLaren is Lamborghini.
Right, so McLaren just below Lambo, then Ferrari.
Then Ferrari, then Porsche.
But aren't like Porsche technically the best?
They are, yeah.
So why are you putting them bottom?
For me, I'm a chav. I am a chav. Like
then put the big wing on it.
Yeah, like unless it pops, bangs, and has silly spoilers on and makes noises and jerks, then
that's why you like the SVJ.
That's why I like the SVJ.
Because like to me, looking at the SVJ, I know I have the standard or classic Aventador, but that looks like a boy racer's gone to town on it.
Yeah, it looks like somebody's stuck some.
Yeah, and you like that about it.
Yeah.
And I don't like that about it.
Again, you're wrong.
Of course. Well, you're the guest, so you're right.
Exactly. You're at my house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, like Porsches, like I say, they don't make a bad car.
Do you have a Porsche in your collection?
Right now, no.
So you got 30 cars and you haven't got a Porsche?
No.
Not an old school whale tail 911?
No. I'd love a 930 turbo.
Yeah.
I'd love a 930 turbo. But do I desire a Porsche?
Well, obviously not. You got 30 cars and you haven't got a
I
Porsche.
had 2 Carrera GTs, sold them at the exact wrong time.
Right.
Still made money, but sold them at a very...
Why did you have 2? Because you thought they'd go up, so you invested in 2.
I talked my dad into buying one, and I had one. So me and my dad split on one. I had one, it started to go up. I told my dad about it. He's definitely not into cars, but he was into making money.
Yeah.
So we split the second one, bought them over from America. Dollar rate was good. They were behind the times there with the values. Brought them back over here, all left-hand drive. Can sell them anywhere all over the world. Made decent money on those 2 cars. So that's a very different car though. My friend Tom has just bought a 918, which I've seen, which is beautiful. But just like I say, just not. I need theatre. I just like I say, it's definitely chav.
Yeah. Could we have a look at some of your other cars?
Yeah,
Would we be able to walk around and have a look?
Yeah.
Okay, before we do that, could we do like a quick fire round? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. What's the most amount of money you've ever lost on a car?
So that would be that Performante, which was, I hate saying it. I've already told you.
This is the quick fire round, so
it's my detriment, isn't it?
But it's just to remind you to never do it again. Repetition.
So this is character building then?
Yeah.
You're doing me a favour, yeah?
I am, yeah.
£90,000.
Okay, and what's the most amount of money you've ever made selling a car?
£74,000.
And what car was that?
It was an Aventador SV.
Okay. The best value supercar right now that's not a Honda NSX?
Very easy. McLaren 600 LT.
How much is that?
Nearly probably 110 now, maybe even getting down to 100. No, yeah, probably about 110, 120. Amazing car. They've got exhausts which come out the top, which literally a standard car spits flames. How can you not love a car which spits flames?
Wow. What's the most overvalued supercar right now?
I don't want to say it, but I have to say it. Lamborghini Revuelto.
Ooh.
I didn't want to say it because it's got bad press and it's a great car.
But it's too much money.
£600,000 for a decent spec one.
Too much money.
It's not, when you can have an SF90 for nearly half the cost, or you can have nearly 2 of those, yeah.
What's the most expensive car to own?
A Bugatti.
You've had one?
No, and I wouldn't have one because I value money.
Right. What, 25 grand a service, kind of silly?
I would love a Bugatti Veyron, and I could have had one instead of that McLaren P1. Like it would.
They're about the same money, aren't they?
About the same money.
Yeah.
And out of the 2 cars, would I have Bugatti or McLaren? I'd 100% have a Bugatti Veyron because that is, to me, at my age, it was the hypercar.
Yeah.
You know, it's the ultimate hypercar. I just cannot. Like I spoke to Steve Hamilton in America when we were looking at it, and he spent £150,000 in 6 months on keeping that car going.
Jesus.
Obviously an amazing car, and I've been in the presence of one. We went down to have a look at one, and it was definitely a hypercar.
Yeah.
Was it better than the McLaren P1 to stand next to? Yes. It had an aura of greatness around that car. I value and earn money which I couldn't waste on a car which appreciates way less than it costs to run. Mm. Like you can say it's going to be a great investment. Yes, it will, but it's going to cost you just as much to own it than it is that it's going up.
Yeah. Mm. What's the most surprising, cheap to run, low cost everyday supercar?
Hurricane.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hurricane, not obviously relatively low priced, but a Hurricane, bulletproof, servicing not crazy. Like it starts, it runs, it works, it sounds amazing. It's a Lamborghini. Like just they, even now, what's a Huracan second-hand cheapest Huracan? Probably still upwards of £100,000. And what was, the 2014 was the first time. So that's a 11-year-old car still above £100,000.
Mm. What would you say, pound for pound, was the best car you ever bought? Maybe you just felt great, or it just felt like a lot of car for where you were in your life.
C63 Black Series, the Mercedes.
That one there.
The white one,
right,
which I had first. The white one.
But it's just a Merc.
Yeah. But that car is definitely 100%. If you know, you know.
Right. Hence why you just made me look like a twat, because
yeah.
I've said it's just a Merc.
But you did it yourself. I didn't even do it.
It's just for the comments, Mark.
Yeah, that's
just to make you look good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sort of car where 99% of the people who drive past it and it's a Merc. The 1% who know that it's a sort of car that they're like that as you go past, clicking their fingers, because it's just it is an unbelievable special car. Unbelievably special car.
Wow. I'm surprised.
Yeah, great car.
Yeah.
Great car. If you you live with one of those for like a couple of weeks and you'd get it. It's so dangerous. It's unbelievable. When it's wet or cold, when it's wet or cold, there's down the road from us, there's a small island, roundabout, as probably you call it. Around here we call them islands for some reason.
Yeah. And
obviously the roundabout has drainage system, so all the water goes towards the centre.
Right. Yeah.
And the camber must be like you can't even see it with your eye, but it's obviously got a camber, because when you pull out of there, the thing just goes sideways and just tries to head towards a curb. And it sounds amazing. Like, they're comfortable, they're reliable, and it's like the one I bought through stamps, through making money out of postage stamps, and that's why it's so special to me, because it was almost like a free car.
Oh, what you collected and invested in them then?
This is going to be a long story short. So Royal Mail, this was probably about, 8 years ago, Royal Mail were losing hundreds of millions of pounds. And a second class stamp was 36p.
Right.
On one day, it was changing to 50p. So, like it said, in 2 months' time, on April the 1st, they go to whatever date it was. So I sold everything I had. I remortgaged my house. I borrowed every penny I could from everywhere I could. And I bought every second-hand postage stamp I could. I bought hundreds of thousands of stamps.
Wow.
And I put them into little packages which looked like some sort of like another block of packages people sell. And I protected them, and I kept them for about 6 months until everyone was used to buying 50 pence worth of stamp, and then I sold them.
And then you bought that car?
I bought the white one. I made.
And how much was the white car?
£91,000.
Wow, that's a cool story.
Yeah, cool story. And now that's worth 150.
Right.
So yeah, double bubble, which was good. So like, I'm definitely no genius, that's for certain, but that was just a little gap in the market.
Yeah,
I saw.
What's a secret you've never shared or story you've never told?
There isn't one.
Yeah, there is. There always is.
There's one terrible story.
Go on then.
My friends know.
I like my terrible stories. Go on.
Okay,
then.
This isn't car related though.
Hey, look, we're not in a rush. These seats are comfortable.
Right. So I stopped at my mate's house. I woke up and I had a horrible dream about a washing basket.
Right.
So I said to my mate, Rich Flynn, great friend. So I said to him, have you got a washing basket? I've got a horrible thought, but we'd been out the night before. I was in a double bed with my mate, Mark Haywood. And I said to him, I relieved this room last night. And he was like, no, I didn't. And I got a horrible thing about this washing basket. So Rich comes in and he says, I said to him, have you got a washing basket? He said, yeah. It's in my mum and dad's bedroom. So I was like, oh, okay. So next door was his sister's bedroom. Luckily I didn't go there. I've got up in the middle of the night, sleepwalking, drunk, gone across the landing into his mum and dad's bedroom, turned the light on as if they didn't need waking up. gone round to his mum's side of the bed and pissed next to her head into the washing basket. Good old Mark from Reddit strikes again. So then his dad is then got his arm around me saying, let's go to bed. And I'm like going, F off, Rich, you'll wake your dad, apparently. Put me to bed. I've never been round their house since.
Well, thanks for sharing it on Disruptors. Appreciate that. So can we have a look at some cars?
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, Mark.